We recording right now, kid?
Yeah.
You want to talk about stuff?
Sure.
What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about life? How you been?
I'm alright, you?
Fucking just, you know me. Making my millions. Low key, keep my head down.
Let's make sure you're in the shot this time.
That'd be nice. Because I noticed you were trying to get me out of these shots.
Well, I slowly been fading you out, you know.
People ain't gonna have it. The people aren't gonna have it. Just checking out our fucking Instagram. Seeing what have we been posting? Besides our boy Ben Pollock just murdering the fucking 750 for 5. You see that?
Yeah.
750 for 5. So what was the deadlift record? Fucking Ed Cohen's, or oh, sorry, Yuri Belkin's. It was 8. So he's pulling 750 for 5. How is that not?
Different weight classes though.
He's bigger now. Oh,
well,
yeah, he didn't cut.
Ben was competing 181.
Yeah. That's true. So, and he's not 181 now.
No, he went for the 800 pull.
Yeah,
at 181.
True. When he cuts, he won't be quite so.
But he's probably pushing back up because remember he competes at 181 and 198, so he's probably pumping back up to the 198 again.
More than likely, he looks jacked up to act up, bodied up, like a motherfucker. And our boy.
Well, that's pretty abnormal for him. Usually,
and our boy
usually he's just a fat slob.
I know. Usually a fat slob. And our boy Eric Lillybridge pulling 870. Not bad. Oh, Nikki Guns. Hello. Smashed some shit.
Yeah.
Had a national, she pulled 474.
I think she took a squat and deadlift record, didn't she?
Squatted. What the hell did she squat? She bench pressed 220.
Yeah. But I think her 2 records, I think she either 2 or 3 records. I think she took squat, deadlift, and total.
I'll tell you what she squatted right now because we've been posting the hell out of her. Where is she now? Yeah, Nikki Guns was killing it. Straight murdering foes. And Maria T is absolutely... Here's another thing that got people excited. I think Maria T might be Canada's first IPF Open World Champion. I don't want to jinx her. Not that I got the power to jinx people like that. If I did, I'd say I'm going to have $1 million. All right.
Did you mean to send this to me? 424.
Oh, Nikki Guns just squatted 424. What did I send you? Dick pic? That was supposed to go... No, that was you.
Oh.
Dick pic. Big ass.
Yeah.
One of those motherfuckers?
Yeah.
You got that? That was you.
Well,
That's all you.
All I want to know is why you're not doing the editing if you're not good with Photoshop.
Uncut.
That's raw.
That's raw.
That's classic.
That's fucking beating raw, bud. I just want to brighten your day every now and then.
So that's a nice jacket. Where did you get that from?
Oh, I thank you for you noticed. You know me, low key, head down, humble. I just want to spend my millions. Got a big ass dick, trying to make fucking, keep to myself. I'm not out for attention. Canadian national team member. 6-pack laugh at. Fucking go to the grocery store. Want to get in and out 20 minutes. I end up staying there an hour and a half autographs. That's life. That's life when you're on the national team, when you're a celebrity. Right?
Probably
So,
first time you signed your name in a long time.
If I was late today, if I'm late any day, this is probably why. I don't fucking break it up very often. Just when I'm doing, laundry, groceries, running around the neighborhood, whatever. That's it. That's it. Because I'm not trying to attract attention. I'm not about that life.
You sleep in it, don't you?
I'm very humble.
You're sleeping in it, are you?
Only the jacket. Bare bottom. Walk around the house like that.
That's
humble.
Great.
You know me, I'm humble. I'm not out for attention. That's not why I do things.
So, the other one we talked about is Bryce. Breaking the CPU record, which is all-time Canadian deadlift record.
All-time Canadian, and he's a 105. 105 kilo, for those who don't know, Bryce...
But he didn't compete 105. He competed, he was...
He's 230 body weight.
He was 108.
Oh, shit. How big is that? Really? I thought he was 230 body weight. Are you absolutely certain?
Positive.
Let me see this.
I'm almost positive, dude. He competed at 108. He didn't make the 105.
He went from positive to almost positive.
But either way, he broke...
The biggest
deadlift in Canada's history, in any weight class.
See, we posted, it's in the 105 weight class. Okay. Well, fuck, just right on the spot. I gotta change that.
Oh, I was correct.
Okay, be humble. Take a cue from me and be humble. Okay, I'm the first one to say when I'm wrong. I'm the first one to say when you're wrong, too.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I posted. I think this might have been you.
I don't
So 120. So he's 108.
If
They're saying
if there's an error in it, it would have been you.
people said in this that's an unofficial world record. Holy shit. Well, I know he's broken world records of 105 for a deadlift.
Is it?
That's what some people are saying right here. I'll check that shit out right now.
105 though. What about?
Well, no. So this is 120. This is a 120 unofficial world record, is what people are saying.
What's Eric Willis pull?
He's not in the 800s. No, he's not. He's not in the 800s. The only other Canadian to pull in the 800s was that one big ass Jason Burney dude. Dude looks like a fucking gorilla. He's the only guy to ever pull in the 800s. Fact. I'm gonna check this shit out right now. IPF world records 120. So this is kind of exciting. Now, not a lot of people talk about Bryce in the battle of the 105s. Is he not going to the world championships?
I have a feeling he's not.
God damn it. Somebody said he was. Well, we're about to find out, aren't we?
I haven't seen him post anything about it.
Deadlift world records open in the 120. 387.5. What did he pull? So what the fuck are people talking about? Wait, nope, this is equipped. Aha! That kind of makes a difference, doesn't it?
But he's not 105.
120. 172 or 372. He pulled 375. That is, and that's in the 120. 120 kilo weight class. So that is an unofficial world record. God damn!
And he only weighed 108.
And he's barely a 120. He's a water cut away from 105. The guy's a beast. The guy's a beast.
Yeah.
Now that being said, in the 105, we know the deadlift king is in there, and that's the Verbecki. Good stuff, Verbecki from Poland. Ain't nobody out pulling him. No. Bryce can't outpull that kid.
Because he's pulling close to 9, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's missed close to 9 a few times now.
Christoph Verbecki, he pulled 390. A weight class below. 390. God damn, that guy's a deadlift machine. He's looking at 400.
So that's 858.
So, and obviously a clean 400 is 880 or 881 or whatever. So, but anyways, I'm going to check the nominations.
But think about that. That's only 30 pounds.
It's not crazy, especially that high in percentage-wise. It's not the craziest. But Verbecki's not exactly standing still like a statue. This guy's moving forward too.
Neither's Bryce right now though either. Bryce's numbers have been going up ever since it's Hook, man. Ever since he went into Hook Rip, his numbers are flying.
Kid's Canadian.
Because that poll he pulled for an unofficial world, it's hard to tell with any lifter, but it looked like he had still quite a bit more left on that. Like it wasn't, you didn't see the legs shaking, you didn't see a big fight. Like that thing came up pretty clean.
Fair enough. Now I'm just looking at the 105s and the World Championships, IPF, and see if this cat is in the mix. If he isn't. So Christoph is there. We have our boy Garrett Blevins, Screaming Manuel, and Bryce. And that is literally the order of their nominations, which is crazy that Bryce is coming in 4th when he was the IPF world record breaker in total previously. Now he's in 4th. You know what's crazy? One of these fucking guys is going to walk away without a medal. All those guys are world class. One of those guys walking away without a medal. How the fuck is that possible? And all of them are like total world record breakers.
Actually, you know, out of 4, I guess out of 4 guys, one of them will walk away without a total. But I mean, each one of them is good at a different lift, so they may all take a different record on a different lift, right?
Well, one of them's going to walk away without, total medal. Yeah, I bet you, it'd be crazy if one of them doesn't walk away with a medal, period, in any event. And that could happen.
But here's the thing, it'd be even crazier. If each one of them took a medal in a class and one takes the overall but no medal in a class.
He's just consistent. And that'd be tougher because if you're 4th consistent.
But you got a big squatter, you got a big bencher, and you got a big deadlifter.
Yeah, you got a monster deadlifter. Yeah, well, fuck, you got monster everything. Yeah, it's true. Rebecca's gonna out deadlift all these cats. He'll out deadlift anybody. But so I'm just checking here. Our boy Bryce from Canada is not going to the World Championships. That kind of sucks because imagine the battle of the 105s with that cat in there, dude. The battle of the 105s would be epic. Top 5 would be like anyone in the top 5 would be potential world champion. Because last year he was a silver medalist.
Well, it would all depend on the day, who's injured, who's feeling good, who had a good cut.
Well, you miss one lift, and you fall behind,
it's over.
And now it could be. if you have to move forward with your second squat, second dead.
You miss a lift, your mental game's got to be some fucking strong because you're going to be chasing lifts all day. Like you got to pray somebody.
You fell behind.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone else does as well.
Yeah.
And then if someone else misses a lift and you didn't, now you're like, oh shit, I just got to play my game tight, not miss any lifts. I'm already ahead like 20 kilo. I don't have to out squat dead and bench this guy now. I just gotta hit within reason and play a tight game. Now it's all the pressure on him. He's got to go crazy with the dead and bench. I don't. It's huge if the guy's neck and neck with you, he misses a lift. It's like the John Hack, Brett Gibbs situation with the IPF Worlds last year. As soon as they stepped forward and Gibbs was behind because he started missing squats, fuck man, John just had to stay the course. He didn't have to go crazy with his dead. He didn't need to go crazy with dead and bench. He's had to keep a tight game, not miss any lifts. The other cat already has. Don't fucking miss. Well, I mean, you're going for the king. Don't miss.
The difference is 5 for 9, 9 for 9. Because I think Gibbs went 5 for 9 last year at Worlds.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, he probably, even his best 9 for 9, he probably was going to beat Hack. I mean, a year's gone by and he just chipped him by 1 kilo, and that's a year of progress. 1 kilo. He just chipped Hack's record from a year ago. So he probably on that day wasn't, even if he went 9 for 9, wasn't going to win. But the point is, when it's that tight, you know, it just makes it a lot more stressful. You really have no choice. Like, if your chances were low, 20%, now they're fucking nothing. You know, now it's like, oh, God, I'm going out on my shield. And Gibbs he's a warrior. He'll go on his shield. He pulled for the win, had it up to his fucking past his knees, if I remember correctly. It's past his knees. Yeah. He's gonna try, but it just makes it, you know, a gallant effort.
And the other one we'll throw out there was Jessica's pull.
Jessica Bowen. Butner, yeah. That was
Jessica
Butner's. We're gonna share that one too. Holy shit, that's an unofficial world record too. No,
that would have been an 8-pound over unofficial world record. I mean, she's not going to Worlds this year, which is a shame also, that she's not going to be in there.
She's another one. She's Canada's.
And you know, I was thinking about it too, and I wish. I mean that was an invitational, the War of the West, so I get why she went. It's close to home, like it's literally Saskatchewan. It's in Regina. But it would have been really neat to see her come into the Toronto Pro Show because she would have had a chance to take that world record without going to Worlds.
No shit.
Right? And and the thing was, the worst part was she got that lift. It was just a little bobble.
Yeah. Yeah, she went up, down.
That was a hell of a fight. Like
she's strong as shit. She's crazy strong. And she's 72 kilo abs, like she's going to walk on stage.
Yeah.
Like she's jacked up to act up. You know? No skinny champions, her. Yeah, I'm just looking at the nominations here. Heavyweights, yeah, Ray, Jezza, Kelly.
No. Yeah, you know, before you blow that one off, that's one I actually want to see because there's the one thing on there that I really want to see is I want to see Jezza and Ray go against each other. I know Jezza, the total isn't going to be there, but Jezza and Ray's squat, I mean, Ray's known for that squat, but I'm really waiting to see because Jezza's no joke.
I think the bigger battle is going to be between Jezza and Kelly. They're 5 kilo in total. 5 kilo apart. 5 kilo.
Yeah.
And we're talking 1,025, 1,020. 5 kilo on 1,020 is 0.00. Like it's nothing. They're basically the exact same.
Well, I think Jezza's got him on the squat. Kelly's definitely got him on the bench.
He's got him on the squat. Kelly's got him on the bench, and Kelly's got him on the dead.
Yeah, for now.
So we're gonna.
But you know the problem with Jezza is Jezza doesn't post shit, so it's hard to see what he's doing. You never know where he's at coming into this. Like if he
guys make improvements.
I mean the guy front squats 880.
Yeah.
Like you don't if he puts his mind into something else like
that's a little bit of a piss off. Hey, how the fuck you front squat 880 like that?
He front squats people's total.
And then looking at the 93s. Okay, well David Ricks is third nomination. That's crazy. David Ricks, 50, is he 57 now? 58?
57, 58.
And he's coming in third place right now in terms of nominations. Holy fuck.
Who's first on that?
I'm going to butcher this Ukrainian's name. Novopismeni Anatoly.
Anatoly. Who's second?
I'm going to butcher this motherfucker's name from Kazakhstan. Smagulov Yarlin.
Where's Norris at?
No, Jesse Norris ain't going. He's injured apparently or some shit like that. He never goes to the Worlds, man. He never does international competitions. Has he ever done Arnold's even? Probably. Back in the day, he went to like junior, sub-junior Worlds when he was still equipped. Back in the day. He's never gone to the Classic Worlds. Which is crazy. So, a couple questions though. The defending world champion in 93 from the Ukraine, where the hell is he? Is he not going no more? He was. He must have pulled out. And this dude, this young Ukrainian, because he's the head of the young Ukrainian. So there's two dudes from Ukraine. This cat is born in '96, young as fuck. But he's like the next thing. He's the next big thing in Europe. And he's probably going to win. Well, he's the favorite to win the world.
He's 21.
He's 21. He's a kid. He's a fucking kid. He's like a John Hack situation. He's even younger than Hack was. He's a kid.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. He is Jesus Christ. You're well said. As Jesus Christ, a powerlifter. And, but the defending world champion, the 43-year-old, what the hell was his name? He's also from Ukraine. Like, he's literally twice this kid's age. And he was just chipping in a little bit heavier a total than him. He apparently pulled out, man, because I don't see him on here no more. People watching will probably know the story. Well, holler at us and let us fucking know. But it's going to be a scrap because the guy from Kazakhstan's only 3 kilo less. And then our boy David Ricks is only 13 kilo less than the first place nomination.
And you know that guy, he's going to fight for it.
13 kilos, nothing on 8. When you're talking 830 kilo, 13 kilo is... That's one lift.
Well,
that's one lift.
The thing about him is you can never count him out because if it comes down to the end of it and it's going to be a fight, you know that old man's going to put it in there, right? Like
he's got a lot of fight in him.
Yeah, man.
That old man's got a lot of fight in him.
He's going out on a shield. There's no doubt. Like he'll scare the shit out of anybody coming against him.
It's weird, man. When you watch David Ricks, I seen him at the last Worlds when I was commentating, and he seems almost aloof to the pressure. Like he doesn't even. Maybe it's because he's been in it so long. He doesn't.
40 years of competing, probably. You know,
he probably is just kind of like. Well, because there isn't really that much pressure. He's already a god walking around here. People already think if he's finishes top 5, doesn't even get a medal, but he's top 5 in the world. That's amazing at his age. What kind of pressure does he have? But he can't let people down.
Yeah, but I think he just. Well, I mean, every lift for him's a fight when you watch it. Like that's the crazy part. Like everything looks like the fight of his life, and I think that's why the crowd loves him too. Is that and nothing goes up clean. Like he just has a fight, but he gets through every freaking lift.
Yeah. He's a warrior. Honestly, he's like the sentimental favorite for sure. If he won, people would lose their damn mind. Can you imagine David Ricks won? And look, he's only 13 kilo off the top nomination. That's nothing. When you're talking into the 800s, that's fractions. Well, he could, if he wins, this is like George. This is bigger than George Foreman when George Foreman won the title. This man is like George Foreman was a kid compared to where this guy's coming in.
Well, the thing is that. He keeps it's not like he's digressing. He keeps
that's
the crazy part.
Hey, let me tell you something. He's just coming into his prime.
Yeah,
he's peaking now. All right, let me keep it moving. And Borislav Adov is coming in 6th. I just want to shout him out. And a boy McLean, LS McLean, he's coming in 4th. And he's LS McLean, monster bencher, silver medalist at the world benches. He's not far off. He's about 15 kilo behind David Ricks in total. Fuck somebody.
Alice McLean. I don't think Alice McLean's doing World Tour.
No, he is. He's there. I got him here. He's in the pro show too. That's why you're saying that.
But I could have swore is
he pulled out?
I thought
he's not off the list.
Hey, you know what? I might be wrong, but I thought he opted out and decided to do the pro show instead because
he's doing a pro show in Toronto, an APF pro show, North American for anyone who's watching around here. North American Federation's running the pro show this year in Toronto, and I know he's doing that. And that's crazy fucking close. That's like
that's why I'm
4 or 3 weeks.
He
might have pulled out. What I mean, maybe he's looking at this, telling himself, "Look,
it's a cost, man. A lot
of these it's expensive as shit." I bet you if he was like #1 nomination, you'd be a crazy fool not to just throw that money down and go. But he's won medals at Worlds. He's won silver at bench only. He's won, I think, silver or bronze at Worlds or some. Like he's won medals. He's done his damn thing. So if you never have, and this is your opportunity, you're gonna throw down on money. If you have. It's like, well, it's just more of the same, and that's fucking a little bit undercutting more of the same when you're talking about world titles, but still, okay.
But you know, here's the other thing is that it's kind of shitty is that they put the Toronto Pro Show close to the Worlds like that because it's just another chance for someone to walk in and break world records, right? And having them that close together is...
I think what they did, though, is they're doing a 2 offer because one's in Belarus, the other one's in North America. So they're offering the North Americans a second opportunity. If you can't go to Belarus, you can't go to Europe.
Yeah.
I think that's why. So, looking at the 83, Brett Gibbs is a runaway favorite. And we got, I don't want to butcher names here, but there's a Russian, Alexei Kuzmin, and homie from Nauru. And I think Brett Gibbs was telling me when we were commentating the World Championships last year, I think it was Nauru, he said powerlifting is actually the national sport. I think it was Nauru.
No shit.
Yeah, I think it was Nauru. I might be wrong. It's one of those countries. And he's like, did you know powerlifting is actually the national sport like hockey is for Canada? It's powerlifting. How freaking crazy is that? And everyone must be a small ass place full of strong men. That shit, like strongman is probably the national sport for Iceland. And that's Dimo Baguga, and those guys are all crazy big deadlifters. They're all, okay, so get this, they're all like deadlifting like within a kilo of each other. But so those guys are neck and neck for silver, and then from down the way, it spreads down from there.
It's funny, like, we bring it up a lot, was a hack skip one. Does Gibbs even have competition coming in this year? Like, who's on his big 83?
This year...
Who's big on his, like, because...
No, this year he's way far ahead. Most of these, people are within 10, 15 kilo of each other. There's the battle of, like, 93's competitive.
Does Cornelius have anyone close to him this year?
One sec, I'll float back up. You know what? I think that Cornelius is probably going to be a runaway favorite for that one. Cornelius, because he's going against... Nah, he's quite a bit. He's like 28 kilo ahead of Mohamed Bouafi, who was the former world champion. Cornelius took him.
Yeah, and he was already like...
He's capped out. He's in his early 40s.
He's in his prime, and I haven't...
He's in his early 40s. His rate of increasing progress in his early 40s is less than Cornelius, who's 10 years younger.
And Cornelius is doubling his maxes.
Yeah, so he's going to smash his old PRs, his old nomination numbers, which are quite a bit ahead. No, 105's... 120 is pretty much runaway. 83 is pretty much Gibbs, unless Gibbs does something crazy.
And then we got the Taylor Atwood and the...
Let's look at the 74s right now. So 74s, we got the battle. So Atwood, I thought Atwood was going to be the #1 nomination. He's in second. The guy #1's from Norway, Egil Bekkelund. Probably Backlund. He's got a 730 nomination. Taylor Atwood's 725. We're talking. We're splitting hairs.
That's the guy. Isn't that not the guy?
I thought it was a Belarusian. I thought there was a Belarusian that he wasn't it supposed to be in his home country when we were talking to him? Where's that cat at now? I don't see any Belarusian in here.
I know. I've been watching some of Taylor's training. It looks like it's going well for him right now.
So, anyways, second nomination tied with Atwood is Yoshihiro from Japan. And so, man, it looks like... And then we got a couple Kazakhstan lifters. Kazakhstan's crazy represented at this World Championships. And a couple Kazakhstan lifters.
It's right next door.
So they have... Yeah, so that's why. You're going to have... The Worlds this year are going to look a lot different.
European dominant.
Yeah. So anyways, there's a battle at 74 card. You have first nomination, 130 kilo. Two guys... And for second nomination, both have 125 kilo nomination. So that's, in terms of first, second, third for those medals overall, crazy tight. Again, crazy tight. So Taylor's going to be battling like a son of a bitch. Let's kick it down one. 66 kilo. Glakik from Russia. He won it last year. He's a favorite by 10 kilo over Canadian boy.
Stephen
Cascioli. I mean, Glakik's crazy strong. Steven's strong as shit too. Broke a world record with squats. He's 10 kilo back. That's not unsurmountable to get past. He's got a chance. He's definitely a medal favorite. Last year, I think he came away without a medal.
So, Lutz,
he's a medal favorite.
Did Lutz bail out of Worlds because he just did War of the West, or is Lutz going to Worlds?
Well, let me tell you right now, Connor Lutz, fuck, he's not in it either.
But isn't Connor a junior?
No. No, he's definitely not a junior. Okay, so and then so we have. And then coming in third from Russia, Alexander Kolbin, and he's only 2.5 kilo behind Stefan. So or Steven. So that's going to be a pretty big battle. 66. All of these are pretty tight, except for a couple. And then the 59 kilo, we have Fedoshenko, who's fucking like 100 kilo ahead, over 100 kilo ahead. That's bigger than that's the biggest runaway. It's like he's like the Mike Tyson situation where. He's so flippin' dominant. He just walks in there, walks through guys. It's fun to watch him because he is so incredibly dominant. Wilkes is ridiculous. He's like the Wilkes king here and there.
He's
like
almost 600.
Yeah, so it's fun to watch to see how crazy he could be, but you're not going to see battles. And people want to see battles. He's never going to have the Brett Gibbs hack rivalry moment.
You just never know in this lifetime when it's going to happen. I will say...
Over
but I know, but he is dominant. But it's crazy his... it's when you say 100 kilo, people are looking at it for his weight class, whatever. He's got big lifts for his body weight. Like it's not a joke. Like what he's
well, put it in perspective. He's 1 kilo off the #1 nomination a weight class up. He could conceivably win the 66 kilo with still staying in his weight class.
Yeah.
He could win 2 weight classes same day. That's how fucking dominant. He could beat every other guy a weight class up in the world, let alone his weight class. And the powerlifting weight classes are not small, my friend.
No.
They're big, but they're big jumps. It's not like boxing where it's like 5-pound difference. We got 20-pound differences in some of our weight classes.
Yeah.
This dude that's why it's fun to watch him on that front, that he's a freak, but you're never going to have that sports need rivals back and forth to make it exciting to watch. Like, oh my God, if he doesn't hit this last deadlift, right?
Well, people that will challenge him, the only thing they will ever challenge him on is Wilkes, right?
Yeah, and height. But anyways, whoa, blow.
But the big challenge will be that for the thing, because Blaine Sumner's going against it once they battle back and forth for the Wilkes.
Yeah, which is kind of funny.
In
the equip. This is the class.
The biggest guy against the smallest guy.
For equipped Wilkes, yeah. This will be the classic.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the women. I'm looking at the women, 84 kilo plus, runaway, our girl Bonica Lowe, sweet kid, did commentating with her at the Worlds.
Big bench, big squat.
She's just gonna kid. She's gonna crush everybody. With all due respect. Second nomination is our girl from Canada, Haley, and I don't want to butcher her last name, Kostyniuk. And she's pretty far ahead from the Chinese Taipei. And so she's a pretty good, solid silver medalist. She's almost like she's way far off from Bonica. Bonica, unless Bonica has a terrible day, should be another runaway world champion. And our Canadian, solid lock for the silver medal. Looking into the 84 kilo. What's up? This shit just turn off?
It's a power button.
Looking into the 84 kilo. From the Netherlands, we got Strike, who's won like several world titles, and Sarah Cohen from Canada, cause she's still she's born in 95.
Yeah, she's still a junior, 22.
So the number 1, number 2 nomination. Number 1 nomination is born 73. Number 2 nomination 95. How fucking crazy is that?
It's pretty close.
Dude, that's like a world apart. And then Ana Cassiana from Brazil is who is the defending world champion, coming in, and she's an absolute lion. So last year it came down to the last dead. Last year, for those who didn't see it, you should watch the highlights. It came down between her and Strike.
Missed her second.
Missed her second, increased anyways, and pulled for the win. And obviously, the defending world champ Strike from the Netherlands was like, okay, I only have to pull X amount in my third attempt to win it, because she already missed her second. She's probably not, like, I probably got a lot. I only have to beat her opener now, because she missed her second. Anna fucking throws on more weight. Nobody thought she was going to hit it. Crazy fight to lock it out. Hips shaking, did the funky chicken on the way up, and nailed it. It was like probably for the women's, that was probably the biggest showdown and the greatest battle we've seen. Like that was like movie style ending. It was pretty dramatic stuff.
And then you got
let's go to so that's 84. Let's go to 72. We got so 72. A girl, Kimberly Walford, absolute fucking beast. Greatest, maybe one of the greatest of all time. You could argue she's the greatest woman powerlifter of all time. You could.
Yep.
And
she's not a spring chicken anymore. She's one year away from hitting masters.
Yep. And so she's got close to 10 years on Isabella von Weisenberg from Sweden, who's gaining more and more ground every time. Now, saying this, Kimberly is she's not just
slowing down either.
She's not just holding; she's still improving.
Yeah,
which is scary. Now, looking at this, the nominations, Kimberly's about 40 kilo up on Isabella, but how much can Isabella bridge that gap? It goes Kimberly, Isabella, and then from the U.S., Chelsea Samet, who's.
So my opinion, Isabella still has a lot of room to grow. I think she's always gonna keep adding to that squad, because that's the lift that she just keeps dominating at. If she can keep chipping at that deadlift, she has a chance.
Yo, it's 1:30. Okay, buddy. So you were saying you've been powerlifting a year and a half, and some of your lifts, your competition lifts, were the biggest ones?
Let him start it over again.
Yeah.
That's easier.
If you want to start over, Andy?
Hey, real quick, what's your name? I forgot.
Six Pack Lappin' and Randy.
Okay.
So you can just say six-pack and Randy.
Six-pack and Randy, all right.
So you're, yeah.
So, been powerlifting since, actually the exact date is, my first competition was October 2015. Yeah, 2015. So, that one I just did like a local meet, and so I've been lifting a year and a half since, and my best numbers in the competition are 843 squat, 2193. I'm sorry, 843 squat, 507 bench, and 843 deadlift for a 2193 total, and that's currently second. I'm currently second in the world behind Dennis Cornelius, and I think that's the top 3 all time total.
So you did this in just a year and a half? How you were weightlifting before this? No?
Yeah, so I grew up playing football in high school, and then I played a little bit in college. And after college, I just kept kind of lifting like football style, kind of pretty heavy. And then I got into bodybuilding. Bodybuilded for 2 years. And right at the end of my bodybuilding career, I guess, I started, I was just in the gym. Mm-hmm. And lifting heavy, just like, I think I was like doing RDLs or something. And these 2 guys in the gym, they're older and they've been competing for a long time. They just started talking to me, and I've always been really competitive. So they talked to me about competing, and so I guess semi prep for 3 months, and then hit a meet, and I got hooked.
Yeah. Well, when you're that good, that quickly, it's pretty easy to get hooked. Be like, oh shit, I think I'm gonna find my call. Is this like with the other sports? Did you take to it like this sport? Is this by far like how far did you make it in bodybuilding?
I mean, I won like my local first show, and then like second in a bigger show. But as far as bodybuilding, I knew it was good. I like the challenge. It's just how tough it is. But after a while, you just realize if you're realistic, you just realize some people are born to bodybuild, and even if I tried my hardest for years, there's just no way I'll be at the top. Mm-hmm. And I'm so competitive. I want to be the best. Mm-hmm. And I could be pretty competitive at state level, I guess, but I don't have the tiny waist and all that, the genetics. So and I love eating, and the diet is so hard, and I eat really well diet wise 90% of the time anyways, but to lose weight is just so hard for me, because in high school I was already 290.
Holy shit, man! How tall are you? Don't tell me you're like 5'4".
5'10", 5'10 and a half. So
whoa, man, that's a big boy. No shit, you really are that huge Asian guy.
Yeah. In high school, I was already squatting 500.
Wow.
I hadn't deadlifted yet. I never deadlifted. I didn't deadlift until I started powerlifting. So just bench and squat, really. But yeah, when I love football. I played basketball growing up. I love I love all sports, pretty athletic. But bodybuilding is just something I knew I couldn't like excel to where I wanted to be. And I just didn't want to do what it takes to get to the higher level as far as like just drugs and all that. So.
Did you pick up a coach when you first started?
Powerlifting?
Yes.
So after my first meet, it was when I did. So I like to, I guess I'm very, I like to research and get to know whatever I'm doing very well. So that's when I was, I go on all the websites, forums, Elite FTS, Juggernaut, all that stuff. And that's when I found where I got to, I guess, follow Chad, Wesley Smith, and Juggernaut, and all his articles. And there's just so much free information from them. Mm-hmm. So all their articles, all their YouTube videos, all that, it made more sense to me as far as like block periodization, doing blocks and phases versus like a more conjugate method. So, and then the information was just presented well and easy to follow. So, and then that's when I, hired Chad. So not after my first meet. My first meet, I totaled, that was October 2015. I totaled 1868. And then that's when I hired Chad for my next meet.
And what was your next meet? What was the biggest meet you've done so far?
January Fit Expo. That's when I totaled 2193. And I did the U.S. Open, but I tore my quad on the opening squat.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
So how bad is it? How bad is it right now? Like, what are you looking at in terms of injury-wise? How long are you going to be laid up?
It's actually been exactly a month, and I'm starting to do some bodyweight squats and leg press now. It wasn't a bad tear. Like, honestly, I opened with 810, and like 3/4 of the way down, I felt my left quad like rip and tear, but it wasn't painful. I just knew it. I still came up with it.
It wasn't painful? No shit.
Yeah,
Not yet.
It felt like, or it sounded like a unzipping. So, but it didn't pop. So I was still able to squat it up. But then when I started walking off, it was painful. So that's when I just shut it down. And then, but yeah, I just got clear last week, and everything feels great as far as I can tell. It's just gonna be a matter of me not pushing too hard, too fast. So.
Now you were saying one of the reasons you didn't want to continue bodybuilding was because of like the drugs they would take. Now you lift in the untested. You don't got to answer necessarily, but are you in the untested because of you want to be using certain like drugs for powerlifting, or because what's your stance on that?
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna do what it takes to be the best. With my health in mind, but also I want to compete against the best, whether it's whatever organization it is, whatever the best or the highest number the records are. I don't take away anything from the other federations, that the natural federation, all that. They're the best too in there, but it's overall, I want to be able to be my best.
So with the bodybuilding, it's just that they were in the excess of, or it's just like a full on.
It's an excess, but even if you take as much as you possibly can, you're still not going to be any better. You can't change your genetics. You can't change your.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's a subjective sport. So if someone just doesn't like your body or your lines and all that, and I can't change that, I just feel like I'm kind of wasting my time, and you're just kind of doing it to win a trophy or a medal. But on top of all that, it's the with bodybuilding, it's a daily grind as far as all day, like with your diet, like every little calorie, all that, and then during prep, you're just a hermit. You're afraid to go out. It's just there's no balance. It's too hard to balance. With powerlifting, I can still diet, still look good, but I can still go out and do stuff and not have to like be so mentally worried about every little detail.
That's the one thing with it's true that because we all have friends. If you go to the gym, people who do like bodybuilding or some of these fitness competitions, some of the fitness girls, and it's like the way it dominates your life when you're like dieting to that extent, like what it takes to actually be competitive. You can't get away from it. Like you said, you carry it with you. People have like mood fits, and it's like it's.
Well, you see the strength losses.
Strength loss, the sacrifice. Like you sacrifice strength, like all the food, like just going out. We went out last night for a couple cocktails, bite to eat with some friends. That shit is just like you said about being a hermit. That's off the table, literally. No pun intended, off the table. And it's like we'll just come out. Don't eat, don't drink. Yeah, but when everyone's eating and whatever, that's hard when you're starving, man. Like it's people don't realize, like, I'm not super into bodybuilding, but the type of discipline these people show is nuts. And we do discipline too, but I think for a lot of us, it's easier to go to the gym and just, your job is to kill it in the gym, and you leave the gym and walk away from it. But when it's bodybuilding, you kill it in the gym, leave the gym, and then your whole freaking lifestyle after that is still going to be dominated by bodybuilding, right?
Yeah, and like every time you look in the mirror,
Yeah.
nothing is good enough.
Yeah.
That's a whole other mental side.
Like, I don't have that, but I understand how other people might.
Well, yeah. Well, especially when you are dieting down, you're shrinking, and you think you're smaller, and then you're weaker, and all that. And
Yeah. That's
and then, like I said, at the end of the day, 99.9% of us will never be at the top or whatever. So, I just think the investment and sacrifice isn't worth what you get out of it. I don't think. You don't have to compete. You can still look good or be shredded, but not have to like suffer to that.
You're preaching to the choir, buddy.
Yeah.
So obviously you started. Thanks for not laughing about that. So you started powerlifting, and obviously you took to it. Like it's crazy the amount of like your numbers you're putting up just a year and a half in. Did you know that you were this strong? Like when you were bodybuilding, kind of want to brush up on, and I like the fact that you've done both. The difference between your bodybuilding training and your powerlifting training. And did you have any inclination when you were bodybuilding and you were probably squatting deading, but I'll let you tell your own story. Did you realize, holy shit, I think I'm pretty strong? Because it's nuts. A year and a half in for you to be top 3 all time is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, so I'm really known for my quads. My legs have measured up to 34 inches.
Jeez.
So I've always had huge
That's
legs.
my waist,
so,
by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Or that's more than my waist, but go ahead, yeah.
So as far as I was bodybuilding, I would always squat and do leg press and all that way more than anybody bodybuilding or powerlifting already. And so I knew I had a strength. I was stronger that way. But then, for like or upper body, like benching stuff, I never went too heavy. But even though we're doing like higher reps, like 8 to 10 to 12 most of the time, there's times when you go down to like 6 and 5 reps. And when I was doing that, I was still going pretty heavy. And obviously, anytime I'm in a commercial gym, I'm probably the biggest and strongest guy in there. So, yeah, I had an inkling that I'm stronger, but not world class strong.
Yeah.
But then, after my first meet, when I totaled 1868, whatever, and then everyone's telling me like, "Oh, that's like a good total."
No shit.
Well, but then I go on the powerlifting.
Does it
watch,
take a master scout to have seen that?
I go on the powerlifting watch and I look at all the records and who's at the top. I'm like, man, that's so far away. There's no way I can get there, but I want to be.
Yeah.
And just it's crazy because so I competed in October. I hired Chad. 12 weeks later, I competed in January, and I added 138 pounds to my total.
So what were some of the differences that Chad had you do? Like initially, what were you doing in terms of reps and sets and intensity? And then what did Chad do to shake that up?
It's just basically, I've been in like a 10-year hypertrophy phase. So we brought it down to the strength phase, towards the meet. So the thing with Chad, I think the biggest difference is I've never squatted twice a week and I never deadlifted. So
that's big. Yeah,
squatting,
you're gonna have the deadlift. Yeah.
Squatting twice a week, that heavy. Okay, so this is be a good one. So bodybuilding wise, I would work up to one top set. So it'd be like, let's just say I did 500 for 10. It'd be like 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate, 5 plates for 10, and then call it, or maybe do a drop set. Mm. Powerlifting, it's 4 sets of 10 at 500.
Holy
so that
shit.
destroyed me.
Really? You do that's a crazy amount of volume. You putting in volume then, eh?
Yeah, and then so I'm saying that's with when I went to switch to powerlifting, that's what Chad had me do, and then that was twice a week. So the first month was miserable, and I didn't think I could get over it. But after the second, third week, I adjusted to the volume and the endurance, and just squatting for me, with the weight I use and the size of my legs, it takes a lot to recover. But as I got better with that, obviously I got used to it, and then I guess going to a strength phase, I've never done that low of reps for that many sets and for that long of a period. And then obviously the peaking stuff.
Can you bring us into that in terms of what were the rep ranges once you had your volume phase and you were obviously putting in mad work with the volume phase. When you started petering down towards a contest and you're getting closer to like the final 6 weeks or so, what were kind of the set ranges and how many of the rep ranges in your sets, and what did those workouts start looking like?
Okay, so typically, obviously this is just not super specific, but like, so hypertrophy is 8 to 12 reps. Strength phase, you're gonna go most of the time 4 to 6 for like 4 sets. And then a peaking would be 1 to 3 reps. But with peaking with Chad, he has a lot of fatigue management, so you're not always, it's not like linear where it's like 3 reps this week, then 2 reps, then 1 rep. So it's kind of like 3, then it might be a lighter week, and so those are the rep ranges. But when we peak, it's probably 3 sets of 1 to 3 reps.
And what do you like the best? What phase do you think is easier for you mentally to get in there and start pushing it? Because some people enjoy like the feeling of the pump and the feeling your body gets, and then some people, and they kind of like, it gets daunting, which like, fuck, I got heavy ass doubles. You get a little nervous, or do you much prefer to just do a double? You hit one, you're like, I'm halfway done my set. And then you hit the other, right? What's easier for you? What do you enjoy the best?
None of it's enjoyable. Because, all right, obviously when you get a strength phase, just like finally you're not doing like high reps, but still like a set of 5 is still hard because it's heavy,
yeah,
and more than 2 reps. But I rep better. I do better at reps because of my background. So my first rep is always a little shittier than the rest, and this 2, 3, 4 or whatever are always way better. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people, but so I would say like doubles and triples are my favorite. Singles, it gives me so much anxiety.
I know. You know what? It's funny that you said that, and I'm glad you said that too. Like, when I look at my program, it's easier for me to wrap around my head hitting a high double or a high triple. When you see a single, it's like, fudge, man. Like, you feel like it's a platform-style lift, and you're like, I don't know, sometimes leading up to a meet is better not to see too much. So the door is still wide open for, well, the possibilities are open, right? Whereas, but if you're hitting nothing but singles leading up to, where it's easier to plan that way because you know what to expect, but it does give you a little bit of anxiety hopping under that bar.
Yeah, it's that you just get one shot. But also, at the end of the day, anytime you're going to new territory, you don't know what's going to happen. So there's always that anxiety. So that's, as I go up or move up in weights and get stronger, that's been the hardest part actually, is the mental side, is just managing that anxiety and the anticipation and not wanting to fail.
Do you do RPE or do you do percentage in terms of programming with Chad?
It's kind of both. I actually, a lot of times I don't go off Chad's numbers. I go over, but
you got busted. I hope Chad's not watching.
He doesn't do RPE or well, I guess it is percentage, but he actually gives me like a rep range.
Okay.
Unless it's a peaking phase. So like if it's a strength phase, it'll be like sets of 4, and then the range will be like maybe a 40-50 pound range. As long as I'm hitting in that percentage, we're in that weight range, that's what we want. Yeah. But like, let's say I have 4 sets, my first 3 sets will be within that range, and then depending on how that last set goes, I might just go over. And I know like that's not always the best, but I know my body after lifting for this long, so you gotta kind of just take the good days and go take advantage of them and go heavier when you can. And then when you have a shitty day, you just, do what you can.
Yeah, shrug it off. What about when it comes into the heavy singles? How do you approach that? Like, do you do an RPE base, or once again, it's giving you rep ranges in terms of weight? Like he's saying, be within this range, and you just try to hit it.
Well, so there's two different approaches, because this past meet, the U.S. Open, I was going for the world record in total and squat. So if you want to hit these numbers in that meet, then you kind of have to plan backwards from there.
Yeah.
And you have to hit this number, or you should hit this number in a meet, and then that should, transfer to the meet. But if I'm not going for a record, I'm just trying to build total, get better each time, then it's kind of just, it's still, it's more of an RP, I guess. But with Chad, I agree too. With my coaching, I never want to struggle or grind in training. So a lot of people always say like all my lifts look easy, or I make it look easy, but it's not easy. But it's also my demeanor. I'm not very fired up or grind much.
Yeah,
but I guess I believe that all the volume accumulated, and the training is so hard that when we finally take away the fatigue, the peaking is that I peak well in a competition. So
leading up to the meet, is Chad help you on that mental aspect in terms of coaching, with like dealing with anxiety and setting up the game plan? Because he's been around in terms of coaches. He's like top 5 in the world in terms of the big names. You got to feel a little more confident. It's like walking into a fight and you're bringing your big brother. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like if you're going to bring Chad Wesley, because he's been around the block. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah, he's not the best bedside manner raw guy.
Is that right? Why is that?
No,
you got an example?
It's like we'll do better or oh.
Get your shit together, man.
Okay, so leading up to LA Fit Expo, I failed all 3 attempts at 800 plus for deadlift because I don't know why. I mean, one of them I was sick, but like my squat was skyrocketing, and I think that was just you can't always have all 3 lifts go up.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen to me in my short career, so it was mentally fucking with me. But this is how simple Chad is. Are you stronger? I'm like, yes. Is your technique good? I'm like, yes. He said, oh, then you're fine.
Yeah. Then what else is it? That's true. Yeah.
But that makes sense, and it's good, but like mentally, it's still not. It's if you don't. Anytime you miss a lift, it's so hard to recover sometimes. So
yeah, mentally for sure, and it is true. Like a lot of people kind of lose sight where there's a bigger picture, right? With all of this, it's like if you keep getting strong, you keep improving. It's not like other sports where you got like 82 games, and you can have a couple bad days, you have a couple good days, and then you have most of your other days fall within line the median. We compete as powerlifters 3-4 times a year, maybe. So 3-4 times a year, and there's 365 days. You need those 3-4 times to be the strongest you've ever been. It's tough. Sometimes you'll have a shitty day for one of the 3 lifts, and if you own it too much and carry it with you, it's difficult. That's easy for me to say because we get so caught up in our numbers, right?
Yeah. But I'm very glad that it happened to me, because now I know, like, if it ever comes up again, I've overcome it. I've hit it in a meet, so that's why I'm glad it happened to me. So, because I failed 800 all 3 times, and then I pulled 843 at the meet. So,
so what happened? So you failed those in training or at the meet?
In training. Sorry.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So leading up to the meet, I hadn't pulled 800 pounds yet.
Holy smokes!
In that prep. I mean, my previous PR before that 843 was 832. So.
So you had hit 832 in the comp. In training, it looked like on the surface the wheels were falling off, and then you still ended up hitting a PR.
Exactly. So if that ever happens with me again or my clients, I can tell them I've been through it.
Yeah.
You just gotta trust the training, and if you are getting stronger and your technique is good, then and plus you really can't do anything about it except you can't in the last month just try and change your whole workout, your whole programming, because some lifts aren't going well.
Yeah, it is what it is by that point.
So, yeah. You said Cornelius has the record right now? Is that what you said?
Sorry, he's the current #1. Stan Efferding is the all-time world record holder. But Dennis has Dennis in a YOLO roll out of bed AAU meet has beat it, but it was uncalibrated plates. So it doesn't.
Yeah, that's a little different. If it's uncalibrated plates. What's his last name?
What?
Dennis Cornelius.
No. Who was
Efferding.
Efferding didn't know, but you said on the uncalibrated plates. Who was that?
That was Dennis.
Oh, it was Dennis Cornelius?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't count.
Actually, wait. No, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I think he did 22:30. The world record is 22:25, but that didn't count. So I think Dennis's official one is 20. Low 22s. I can't remember.
Because he's well, I mean, the IPF Worlds is also 4 weeks away. So who the flip? Like looking at his numbers. Do you follow guys on Instagram? Do you follow like some of your competitors on Instagram to see where everybody's at?
Yeah, I follow all of them. I like to be involved, and I'm a big fan. And whether it's USAPL, USPA, whatever, I try and pay attention to all of it. And well, Dennis actually is my, well, no longer, but he was my teammate as far as being sponsored by Iron Rebel and Brandon. So,
no shit.
And we've lifted together. So yeah.
So, cause his training's going well, like he's crushing the weight. So, we'll see what happens at the IPF Worlds. He's probably gonna he
wanted to do the U.S. Open and go against these guys, but he couldn't because he couldn't do that and do the Worlds.
It's an either or situation. Yeah. But like who when you watch these guys, does that really help push you to put on the more weights in training and push yourself? Because sometimes we talk to people and some people are like, all right, to an extent, I'll watch and it helps, but other times it can get in your head. If you're going to go head-to-head with somebody and you're watching too much of their training videos, like training can be misleading. You can miss 800 3 times in a row and then be like, I probably have this guy on deads. Guy comes out and pulls fucking 845. Or, so it can be misleading. It can get in your head. How do you feel about that?
I think it's healthy. Well, I think it's good for me. Like I said, when I started powerlifting and I saw all these people ranked high, it gave me something to shoot for. And then within 8 months, I was number 2. But
that's crazy fast. That's crazy fast.
But Dennis was so far ahead of everybody. I was like, I need that. He gave me something to chase.
Yeah.
Like if there wasn't Dennis and I was number 1, I wouldn't be pushing myself to hit these numbers. But like breaking the 4-minute mile. If Dennis wasn't doing all these crazy numbers, I wouldn't think it's possible, or I wouldn't. I wouldn't think it's possible. I wouldn't be chasing him. But because he is doing it, it's pushing me, and it's fueling me, and I want to go against him. And we actually tried at the LA Fit Expo, but I forgot what happened with him. But and then US Open too. And as far as they have all these training videos, IG posts, and they look great. Like we said, it's misleading because anything can happen at a meet.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries, a red light, a missed squat, anything like that. People always get sick and whatever from weight cuts and all that stuff. So you never will know what's gonna happen. So if you're scared to compete because you see another person putting up numbers, then don't compete.
Yeah, you shouldn't be here. And that's the thing too, like some people want to, I know for a lot of new lifters, they get freaked out and they don't step on that platform because they're watching too much Instagram and they think, this isn't for me, I'm not competitive. It's like, well, nobody's competitive when you first start. You just got to get the ball rolling, you know what I mean? And stop watching what other people are doing so much. Mind your own shit sometimes.
Yeah, and you're starting off, you're trying to make weight cuts for a lesser weight class because you're afraid of those people in a bigger weight class, but you're still not going to be setting any records, so there's no point.
Yeah. And that's another thing.
Well, unless they're you and they hit him in 9 months.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Do you cut weight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so the biggest I walk around at is 285, but US Open I was 282 before I started cutting. But that's only 7 pounds of water.
Yeah, that's nothing for a guy your size. 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah.
So no, I don't. the vainness in me doesn't want me to get that heavy or that big. But I also don't believe, you know, that extra 10 pounds is going to help me much. Because during the final month or so, I'm just miserable as far as back pumps, and my body's already aching, and just to be that much heavier, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely like diminishing gains. I mean, you can only get so big, and then eventually it's what it's actually putting on your total is starting to become minute. You know?
Yeah, and I don't want to cut weight that hard, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Not if it's going to give you like 1 extra kilo, but you have to kill yourself to do it. You know, it's
just another stressor. I'm already stressed enough.
Yeah. How many calories? Do you know how many calories you eat a day?
I don't really count calories per se. I count macros, but
What's your macros at?
Let's see. Well, currently I'm trying to cut weight a little bit. It's
at your highest. What were you like when you're in your eating the most throughout the year? What's your macros at?
It was on average. It was 80 grams of protein and 100 grams of carbs a meal. And then
a meal? Because when you said 80 grams of protein, 100, I'm like, no fucking way you're eating that much. That's a meal? Okay.
Yeah, that's 6 meals. So
holy shit! Whoa, let me bring up the calculator.
640.
That's 600 and holy.
480.
Well, sorry. So it's okay. 5 meals, and then as far as the protein wise, but the carbs was 6 meals. So yeah.
Wowzers! And how much fat would you have?
It was lower fat because I don't like this. So it was probably 10 to 20.
A meal.
Yeah.
So 6 meals. You're only looking at like 60
between 50 and 100 fat a day.
So how many calories is that? Jesus, that's pretty good. That's low fat comparatively, though.
600.
Yeah, I do different kinds of diets, but I just like to. I don't know. I guess I'm afraid of fat unless I'm doing like keto or no carbs, you know, or is it low carb diet?
You do that kind of stuff every now and then?
Yeah, like right now, like actually tomorrow I'm gonna start going keto probably because it's like I said, it's hard for me to lose fat, and I can do hard to lose weight. I do pretty well without needing a lot of carbs, really. So plus right now I'm not prepping for anything, so I don't mind if I potentially lose some strength.
I was just about to say, like, the scariest thing with that, like, so I know as weightlifters, we're all about like carbs help for our like glycogen levels and for energy, but so it gets scary. And I know, like, I've heard some podcasts. I don't know all the science behind it. I'm no Lane Norton, but when it comes to like some of the ketogenic diets, etc. But the scary thing would be like, holy shit, what if you got weaker or lost what you had? But if you got nothing coming up, this is the time to try it out.
Well, what I heard mostly about that is that it affects it just with the low carbs. It's harder to get the energy levels up to when you go to the gym, like to actually do the training, like where you have like eat a lot of your carbs and then you go work out.
But some people,
it's harder to get that carb load before you go in, right? Because you're not eating them.
Well, what have you heard in terms of the science behind the ketogenic diets? Like, because some people swear by it and they think they're initially you feel shitty, and then when you get over that hump and your body actually gets used to it and adapts, you start getting more energy. No, isn't that the way it's?
Yeah, but so there's a common misconception about keto. People think keto is like high protein, like no carbs, protein's still high, and fat's moderate to high. But true keto is very low protein, high fat, and zero carbs.
No shit.
Yeah, so like for me, I'd probably be doing like 125 grams of protein a day, and then like, I don't know, 200 grams of fat. Or 200 plus.
How would you get your fat sources from? Because the tough
meat.
What's that?
Red meat.
But it brings too much protein to the table.
Yeah, so it'd be avocados, bacon,
bacon and avocados, yeah,
and coconut oil, just more fats, like from actual fat, and then more red meat, cheese, stuff like that. But also, I'm not going to be eating as much total.
Yeah, because that doesn't sound like it'd be nearly as much calories. So
you definitely have a 10-day to 2-week period where you're just adjusting to where you're switching your energy source from proteins and fats to or proteins and carbs to fats, and to get into ketosis, it takes that long. So the brain fog and a little bit of like just low energy comes. But after you adjust to it, everyone that I talk to who actually do it the right way feel better. And a lot of instances, they actually get stronger. Because as far as if you're not lowering your calories too much, because at the end of the day, you just need calories to survive. There's no reason why you can't still lift well if you have enough calories. You're just switching the energy source. Mm-hmm. But you can't do high reps. Like you'll be going like 1, 2, 3, but at 6 reps you hit a wall because of the lack of carbohydrates and ATP and all that, or not ATP, but glycogen. So you can still lift and be pretty strong, but you just can't lift like higher reps. It's harder to.
Is there anybody that we might know that are powerlifters who've done the ketogenic diet?
I mean, Mark Bell has put out a lot of easy, free information on that, but I just read like books and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And are you going to tell Chad Wesley, like, are you going to have to shake up the program a little bit when it comes to the volume phases due to this new diet? Oh, I don't work with Chad in the off season. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, we talk, like, okay, so I told you I was going to try and have a surprise.
Yeah, you did. Whoa, I almost forgot about that.
I was going to have, like, people show up, like guest appearances. But, so yesterday, so I now live in Irvine, California. I'm literally, like, 15 minutes away from Chad. Okay. So I had a barbecue at my pool yesterday, and it was Chad. Guys know Kristen Dunsmore?
I believe so. I think we've shared.
He works with her. Yeah, she works with Chad at Juggernaut. And then Marissa was going to come, but she had her kids. And then, Amanda Haprican. Yeah. You guys post her. Yeah. And then Molly, who you've interviewed.
Molly Kim.
Yeah. Molly.
So we just had this super strong barbecue gathering at my house.
Wait, I think we've seen pictures. Yeah.
Amanda posted a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
super strong barbecue.
I was trying to get them to.
It's like the Justice League came over for a barbecue.
Right. So I was gonna try and have maybe one of them show up, but it's just Sunday is kind of hard. So.
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't work with Chad in the off season, but we still talk. We keep in communicate, but he trusts me to know what I'm doing as far as everything, hypertrophy and all that, and he's always giving me free reign on the accessories when I do his workouts anyways. So
who else do you have for athletes? I know you have Amanda right now.
Who's killing it? She's
killing it.
Freaking strong as hell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yesterday at the pool was her name's Aisha, and her Instagram name is Aisha Haley. She's pulled 440 before at 148.
Holy.
So, but I haven't been coaching that long as far as powerlifting. But I've been personal trainer for like 12 years. So as far as like coaching, personal training, all that, I've been doing that for 12 years. But programming for powerlifting specifically, I've only been doing for like 8 months. Mm-hmm. I just don't have any big names, but I don't care about that. Well, I just care that big.
Amanda's getting up there, and Amanda, now that's T's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
No kidding. And you guys all is T also a 275er at times? No, he cuts like a mofo.
He goes to 242.
Yeah, he's 242.
Was he ever going to go up to? But isn't he like close? Doesn't he walk around at like 270 though?
Yeah, he walks around like 265.
Because he's a huge 242er.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean when he first started powerlifting, he was like he might have done 1 or 2 meets at 275, but nowadays, if he's gonna compete, it's gonna be to do something big.
He missed weight 5 times. He competed at 275 like 5 times
by accident. Yeah, by accident. He doesn't aim to be 275. It just happens.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll be. Like he couldn't come yesterday because he's trying to get into medical school and he's got all these tests and schooling and all that. So I don't think he's got anything planned in the near future as far as competing. He's got more important stuff to worry about. So
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so who do you take inspiration from, or who do you?
Besides myself.
Yeah, who else? Who do you like watching? Like you said, you watch Instagram for the people in the lifts, but who do you actually like enjoy watching on there?
Man, I like a lot of people, and I just, like I said, I'm a big fan, and
Do you watch do you watch people who are IPF or women's, or you watch everybody too?
all of it. I watch
No shit.
girls, males, all that, and then like trying to say, I see Susan Salazar a lot.
Yeah.
I talked to her, and I'm a big fan, but she's like a great person too. So, all the girls like Molly, Susan, Stacy Bird, I'm big fans of them. And then IPF wise, obviously Ray Williams and Katie Ann and Dennis, obviously, and but yeah, and then everyone in the but no one. As far as guys, I don't really pay attention to anybody below 198. No offense.
Is that why you didn't know my name when you first came on here? You're like, you're under 200 pounds. I don't know who you are. That's how it goes, man.
No, but yeah. So like, other than like Pitbull, I don't know a lot of people. Just the top guys.
You know what? Don't feel bad. Out of all these interviews and all the ones we did, when we ask people, they always say the same thing. Usually, one weight class up, one weight class down, and they don't know a fucking person other than that.
It's harder to relate if they're like too far away from your size. Because then you're like, I know that's good, but it's harder to relate to yourself if it's too far away.
I mean, I could name like one or two from each weight class, but
beyond that, it gets tougher and tougher.
Yeah, but no, every day I on my Instagram, and I'm a big fan of just anybody lifting well, and but I don't like people who are like cocky, which 99% of the time they aren't. They just let the lifting do the talking, which I like. So
yeah, powerlifting is kind of, it's not really like MMA and boxing. We get a whole lot of shit talking, but you do have, it's a little different. It's more how people carry themselves and present themselves, right? Sometimes they try to carry themselves like they're big time, when it's like, man, we are lifting weights. And none of us are celebrities, right?
You don't have as much rivalry in it, so there's not as much shit talk. And really, no matter how much you shit talk, it's left on the platform. You can talk all you want, but at the end of the day, you're going to build a total.
It is what it is, yeah.
If you're the guy shit talking all over Instagram or whatever else, and then go up and bomb out on your meat, you
look like an idiot.
You're going to probably close your Instagram down because you're going to get blasted.
What are some of the rivalries that you saw like in the past year or so that your interest? I know you aren't into much of smaller guys, but I was there at the IPF Worlds doing the commentating. For me, the Brett Gibbs, John Hack showdown was pretty big. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I watched that.
Ray Williams, 1,000-pound squat was a big one for me.
I was at the Arnold this year. I was actually on the side when Ray Williams squatted that, 10.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Yeah. And that became the world
rivalries. Man, I mean, at the U.S. Open, there was a bunch of, I wouldn't call it rivalries, but just a bunch of, like, great head-to-head stuff,
There was a lot at the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open was wild, especially Larry Wheels.
But there was a lot of injuries went down, too, though. That was a problem, where there was a lot of great battles to watch. There was a lot of injuries that just kind of ended quickly.
like yourself, or like a Larry Wheels, or like some of these guys who got injured, like,
to follow it out and see what would have happened. The training looked phenomenal for all you guys.
Yeah, even Andrew got injured. Like, it was like the Super Bowl of powerlifting in terms of USAPA. Like, all the big names are there, and it's like there's so much pressure. Guys are gonna go for those.
Well, it's one of the only times you see the Russians fly over for something.
The Russians came in. Yeah, man, it sucks that some of you guys didn't make it to the end.
I think a big reason for that is because of the stakes and the money on the line. Probably in training, we all pushed too much, where we should have pulled back. If it was any other meet, we would have. But so I think by the time we shilled up, and then all the extreme weight cuts, I think we were just too beat up. So,
do you think I don't know if you got any indication of, are they going to do this again next year, do you think? Was there any talk of that you know of? Or?
Yeah, I heard they're talking about it, but they're still up in the air as far as the money and then what organization to run it through again.
Yeah, because that's a hell of a lot of cake they threw on the table.
Yeah, I just think they just went so. I mean, whatever I heard last year was 100,000 or something, but to go up to double it is just ridiculous.
And even a little more. Like, yeah, they have like $250,000.
Yeah, maintain that.
And the thing is, like, it's whoever's putting up the money is like just doing it out of the kindness of their heart because they're not walking away near covering those kind of expenses, right?
No, unless it's like a non-profit or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. But.
They might have something, but it's definitely business-wise. But I don't know how many.
They may be looking at it as eventually keep growing each year, bigger, see what happens. Like they're taking a chance.
They're pushing it. Whoever put the money probably isn't hurting.
Powerlifting used to be on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe someone's going to try to make a run because, all it takes is that these guys get picked up by a Bud Light,
Oh, fuck. If
like
Bud
something,
Light,
like if they...
Powerlifting used to have sponsors like that.
That's what I'm saying. One big sponsor like that, powerlifting's going to blow up again.
Yeah. And then once you're on TV again, all of a sudden everybody's real household names. Yeah. Yeah, who do they have there? Did they have, like, the Kazs or anyone like that walking around? They had... I know C.T. Fletcher was there. And that's a huge-ass name with a big following. And wasn't like... Didn't they have Chuck Norris or some
Chuck
shit?
Norris
do like a promo ad for that? Was Chuck Norris there?
Chuck Norris and Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews.
Terry Crews,
but,
yeah.
That didn't make sense to me because, number one, they don't even like powerlifting.
I know. Like, hey, Martha Stewart. I don't know. They got her. Yeah.
No, but as far as I think Kaz was there, but I anybody other than Ed Cohn, I don't recall. I wasn't paying attention to that, but obviously, but
especially when you're lifting. After you got hurt, did you just sit back and watch the rest? It's got to be pretty hard.
I watched some of it. I stayed for probably all of the bench, but I just wanted to go. I didn't want to sit there anymore. And my legs.
It's a little hard when you think you had 40K on the table and that just got taken away from you.
Well, it wasn't. I already knew I wasn't going to be in the running for the 40K because, number one, I wasn't going to do sleep. I wasn't rapping because I wanted to go for the world record. And
okay.
Sleeves, but I just want to do it on that stage, which would have been the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, looking back now, because I competed in January at the LA Athletics, well, if it wasn't the U.S. Open and all that money in that stage, I wouldn't have competed. I would have just taken more time off. So I'm not sure if that contributed to my quad tear because training was good and, I had like a right knee pain, but I tore my left quad. So and warm-ups felt really good. And, I had no worries. So
quick question. So you said you weren't going to rap because you wanted that world record. But if you rapped, would you be in contention, you think, to have gotten some dough? If you wrapped up those knees?
No.
No, okay. Because I was going to say...
Well, I've never rapped, so I don't know how much it would add to my squat. But if, let's just say I add 50 pounds to what I thought I was going to do, Yuri if Yuri had a good day, he would have beaten everybody by more. Like Yuri missed his third squat and his third bench, I think.
Yeah.
So, also, Larry decided to do sleeves too. I don't know what he would do if he did wraps too. But.
And why is that, do you think? Was he just not
feeling somebody was on here said that Larry was getting more out of his wrap or out of his sleeves than his wraps at the time.
So, Larry and I are teammates too. He's sponsored by Iron Rebel now too, but he said he just couldn't get used to it.
Yeah.
He didn't like. Yeah.
And it wasn't going to help. So in the 275 though, who was up there with you in the 275s at the U.S. Open?
Let's see. There was Steve Johnson, Forsaken Warrior.
Yeah. Who else? Who came in second? Because I know Joey Sullivan took.
Oh, are you talking about the overall?
Or just 275? Because Joey Sullivan's not 275. No. But I'm just saying there was a guy who was else on the podium. I think he might have been a 275er. Doyle, what weight class was he?
No, Doyle's 308.
Was he 308? Okay. So
Yeah.
275, were you the favorite for 275?
Okay, so not to be cocky, but yeah, based on my total.
Good.
Well, no, like honestly, the only person who could have beat me was Zahir, but he pulled out.
No shit. Okay. So
Zahir would
even in sleeves? Even in sleeves?
No, I'm saying, yeah, even in sleeves, I would beat all the rap guys.
Yeah. Oh shit. Good for you.
Well, because so currently, I think the top wrapped total is like, I think Evan Messing just did it. It's like 22.10 or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like 20 pounds away raw. So
Yeah. And dude, Evan's an absolute beast. He looks like a shaved gorilla. That guy is freaking scary, man.
His deadlift is so pretty. It's amazing.
When he gets hyped up and he's walking around, it's like scary to watch.
Yeah. He's like Herbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scares the shit out of people.
Herbie's an absolute monster too. Is Herbie?
Yeah,
Herbie's
they're both like the nicest guys ever.
Yeah.
So
Are they in real life? You know,
Yeah.
like talking to Herbie, I just talked to him like social media, so not like in real life, but they look they look kind of like twins. Like they'd be like twin bosses in a video game or some shit. Like those guys are straight out of a comic book the way they're built. Very intimidating. Beast.
Yeah. So I mean, Larry had a shot too. I mean, not Larry. Herbie had a shot too before he tore his
got
tricep
injured
with
as well.
that.
Yeah, his training was going insane for him coming into that.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who ended up taking the 275s? I don't even remember.
It was Steve Johnson.
Was it okay?
Yeah, but it's funny because he didn't even beat his own personal PR. He basically just survived.
And that's it. You know what? Like, and we were talking about this earlier.
That's sometimes in a regular meet. That's all you need to do.
That's sports, man. We were talking about this earlier. Anything can happen. It doesn't like some people. You have favorites moving in, and some guy might be like, "Well, shit, maybe I might post up in 4th place, maybe." Or you could walk away with 10 G's in your pocket and win the biggest meet of the year because anything can happen in sports.
Well, someone bombs out, that gets injured, anything could happen.
Yeah. Or someone misses a lift and they thought they should have had it. But so how much? I think the paycheck was it 10 G's to win your division, which is
either 8 or 10 to win your weight class. So I was hoping to at least get that, but
that hit the spot. Like 10 G's US too, which like up here in Canada is like 100,000.
Yeah.
I would have retired. But yeah. So hopefully they redo it. So what is probably the next meet that you're planning on doing?
So I think as far as ideally for a prep, I would want or in between meets, I want 6-7 solid months. So I don't know what I'm 100% as far as my quad is. As far as I know, it's feeling good. But I think at the 8-week mark is when I'll be mentally secure as far as pushing it, starting to squat. Right now I'm just doing leg press and stuff. So in another month it'll be, right at July. So from there I probably something in November. November there's Reebok record breakers and then
that's really
but if I'm not close to the next time I step on the platform, I want to break the world record again. Obviously, I mean, there's just not much else for me to go for. So if training, I'm not on pace, then I'm for sure doing the LA Fit Expo. That's what I'm going to peak for again because I just love that crowd. It's an expo, so even if there's only 200 people inside the expo who bought seats, everyone around the expo can watch. So it's just a great stage.
What about Boss of Bosses?
It's too soon. It's August.
Oh shit! Yeah, that'd be way too soon. Maybe the following year.
Yeah.
Boss of Boss is another big show. That guys, a lot of big names go and rumble at as well. Have you done Boss of Bosses before?
No, I've never. No.
Have you met Dan Green, the boss himself?
I haven't met him. No.
No shit.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I've never had a chance to see him, or he was at the U.S. Open, but I never saw him.
I feel like he was around, but not in physical form. His aura, his presence, because that's how big he is. He's like a deity. He takes physical form every now and then and graces us with his appearance, isn't he? He seriously, Dan Green is one of those dudes in terms of like the current scene who has almost legendary, like a living legend, even though he's not like hasn't been in the game as long as Ed Cohen yet. But fuck, man, does he like on Instagram? He follows no one. You know, it literally follows no one, but has like 100,000 people following him. He's bodied up like a freaking comic book guy and has all these records.
Yeah, I would like to meet him. I like to meet everybody, but I think at the U.S. Open, he was like helping Herbie, but they're in a different flight. So, but yeah, Boss of Bosses, if you know, maybe next year. But for me, it's just timing, you know. Luckily, there's enough big meets out there now. Yeah,
especially, and you can make some money doing the Fit Expo as well, right?
Yeah, they actually announced that it's going to be a $2,500 payout for overall.
No shit.
Well, I noticed there's more and more meets coming up, and I'm seeing more and more cash prizes coming up for them for, you know, $1,000 best deadlift, $2,500 per class, stuff like that. I've been seeing more of them.
Well, if you want the big lifters to compete at your meet, you've got to put up the money.
And that's crazy, like, because like we're IPF lifters, so we aren't used to this kind of situation. Like that's not the case over. But I guess the USAPA, they're really like there's money flowing around.
But it's nice to see.
Yeah, oh yeah, well it's
nice to see money. I mean, you train all year for something. It's nice to get something other than
like have a paycheck. That's crazy.
Well, it puts a little bit more on you to do it, a little bit more in your training, but it's more than just a medal.
Well, if you're taking off time from work or whatever the hell might pop up expense wise,
yeah, we gotta pay to get out there too.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. A flight in, whatever else, like.
Yeah, it ain't cheap. That's for sure.
Hotels, food, and I mean you're paying for coaching. A lot of people are paying for coaching all year. It's not free.
No, it ain't cheap. No, Chad Wesley doesn't come free. You know, that's one of the best in the world. So if people want to approach you for coaching, how would they approach you? What's the best way to reach you? And also, if you want to give a shout out to any sponsors and whatnot that you want to, who are your sponsors?
Okay, so my coaching business is breachperformance.com. But the easiest way to reach me is through my Instagram. You can direct message me or just email me at breachcoaching@gmail.com. And you know, shout out to so I coach for myself, but I also coach for Chad's online coaching, Juggernaut online coaching too.
Oh no shit! Okay, you're a Juggernaut coach. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can find me through there too. So shout out to Chad. Shout out to my sponsors, Iron Rebel, Granite Supplements. Also, if you're a food prep company, I would love to be sponsored by you.
Yo, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then just, you know, all my friends and followers and fans who, you know, comment and like my stuff. And thanks to you guys for this interview.
Yeah, no worries, man. Listen, good luck with the recovery. One question. Yeah, go ahead.
So we always ask every lifter, the one question is, in this sport, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
You know, that's something I actually do think about all the time. So I know trying to meet a lot of people, as many people as I can, whether they're in this organization, that organization, whether they're natty, whatever, guy, girl, whatever. I just want to be known as someone who was a big fan of sport and just wants the sport to grow and never made enemies, was always good to people. But then lifting wise, I do want to be known as one of the best. I want to be an all-time great. And it's funny, but I kind of want to be like Ed Cohen, where like I set some records and now I just travel the world, going to meets and seminars and just
not a bad life, huh? Not a bad life.
Hang out and you know, talk powerlifting and whatever. So
being known and getting the respect from everybody.
Yeah. Well, you're off to a flying start, man. less than 2 years in, I think you're pacing well to hit your goals. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on. Keep in touch. And when you got a meet lined up, we'll do it again and we'll talk.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Only a year and a half, man.
Did not know that.
Did not know that.
That is.
Did not know that.
You know, we were. I guess we
Holy
were following.
shit.
We never really thought about it,
But he's been like he was.
He's a presence, so we never really thought about it. And the people he's with, like you see him with.
It feels like, dude. It feels like he's been around the whole time.
I know,
but he's been. Let's just say he's been lifting a hell of a long time.
He's been lifting, but I mean, he wasn't. He came around.
He didn't even deadlift.
But you know, he
So
came
a year and a
around
half
with the
ago.
whole Instagram, powerlifting, bodybuilding. It blew up on the internet, right? So I mean, you never knew what his story was behind that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was right in the mix with the Larry Wheels and the Kevin Oaks and all the different guys in there, and he was just nobody knew.
Yeah.
And he was right up there, like Iron Rebel, like you know what I mean? Like he had the sponsors, he had everything.
Yeah.
So I guess we just kind of pass it off as a
You
guy.
just think this dude.
And, I
was,
mean, and he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like he's
well, but yeah. So that's
he's a
why, like,
280-pound guy. It's not like you
Yeah.
expected him to not be lifting. Like
yeah, but he was like
not
bodybuilding.
deadlifting.
No, that's crazy. He had never deadlifted, and now he's deadlifting like freaking
800 and something.
843. I think he was saying or some
Yeah.
shit like that. It's crazy, man. Wowzers. That's probably, we've heard like Isabella Weisenberg say 3 years in she broke a world record. I think he's got.
Well, that 275 class, it's funny, the number one and number two, I mean, the all-time was around forever, Stan Efferding, but the number one, number two is Dennis Cornelius, who's only been lifting for 3 years.
And he's tested.
Right.
He's that's crazy that he's the number one in the world, and he's an IPF. I would have assumed.
And he doesn't, but he's not number one. He has the all-time total. He's the number one in that class. Stan Efferding's, I don't think, competes anymore.
No.
So Stan Efferding has the all-time total, but right now the top of the order is Dennis.
Like he's number one in the world right
Yeah.
now, and he's an IPF guy. That's pretty crazy. Although not crazy because a weight class up, it would be Ray, regardless of tested or untested. It would be Ray. So, fuck, that's pretty crazy.
But when we talk about that, I mean, Dennis said that he only compares himself to the best in the world.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care what class. Best in the world
Yeah.
is who he goes against. Because he said he compares himself to 308s. He compares himself to the 120 pluses. Like,
Yeah. Which is great. Like you realize how tough this is. Like John Hack, who's a phenomenal IPF guy, IPF world champion, amazing lifter. He goes in the untested division. Like he's not walking away with wins, right? Like he's trying to hang. He's doing his best, fairly competitive, but he's not walking away with wins. Where it's crazy to think like these guys would walk into an untested and be winning. That's pretty crazy. Because like that, you know. But so yeah, but Dennis is a beast. Ray's a beast. Those guys are the highest Wilkses in the IPF worlds. It's Dennis Cornelius, Ray Williams, and Fedoshenko, depending on the order on the day. But it's those guys who are the Mount Rushmore.
Well, they're all
when it comes to
chasing
men's
six.
Wilkses. Yeah.
They'll be the first.
The Wilkses are all.
I'm expecting, like, that's my call out, is at this Worlds, you're going to see someone break the 600. Someone's
It's gonna
breaking.
be one of those
They're in the 590s. It's right there. Someone's breaking that
Has
600.
Fedoshenko ever broke 6, I wonder? Oh.
I think only in equipped.
I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, they're crazy. They're all floating around there. Because I think Dennis said he was 594.
You know, with him, he was a little different than I thought. Like, very humble, which is every lifter we keep doing seems to be the same way, you know. And I guess being still, it's a weird thing to call him a noob, because a year and a half in, you know, and being the second guy.
Green.
Yeah, like he's green at it, but I mean,
He's only had a couple.
But you
beats.
can tell how passionate he is about the learning aspect
Yeah.
of it. Like, I mean, this guy's reading and you know what I mean? Like, every little thing he can do to better himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows when you become the second in 18 months. Like,
Yeah, that's nuts.
but he was saying, you know, I don't have any big clients. I disagree, because
Amanda's a beast.
she's a beast. But the other thing is we've talked about it with other coaches. Don't pick your number one client. Pick
Yeah.
one. And there's a that young lady come out of nowhere and is just smashing the shit out of stuff, man.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so if that's one of your clients,
Yeah,
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, anyone like I think.
she's got a hell of an atmosphere to be around, though. That's her coach, and T's her boyfriend.
Yeah, and look at their freaking little pool party. It's
Yeah.
all like the top people in the world.
When he said to the strongest barbecue, like, what the hell?
The world's strongest barbecue. That's yours, man. That's yours. When I have family barbecue, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting, and he is pretty low key. He says, I don't like to get too excitable or whatever. Like he's very stoned.
But I kind of get that.
Player
But I
style.
kind of get that though in training though too. Is I think a lot of people amp up too much for their training. Like that's my own personal opinion.
And what he
Is that
said
you're
too
running
is
that adrenaline nonstop.
It might not.
in
It
your
might
training.
look on the surface some certain way.
He's
but,
pushing.
Like, he's pushing. Trust me, I'm working. But I don't outwardly show it. But that doesn't mean I'm not working.
But he's more focused on the lifting than he is the adrenaline to get the lift through. Like just making sure everything goes right. Like he said, he does not want to fail in the gym.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I don't want to fail in training.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if this is what he's doing a year and a half in. If he's just the type that peaked early and he'll be normal progress, or if we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg for a guy who's only a year and a half in.
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say. It could go either way. I'm not saying because obviously a year and a half in, you fly up this high. You're not gonna go like the pace can't be like that every single year. Or else
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be fucking crazy.
This guy's gonna start deadlifting people's totals. If that's the case.
Yeah.
The thing is too though is like we talked about it when we talked with Rubish is that he said that some guys are gonna come out of the gates running. Some guys are going to be leading the pack, you know what I mean? And he's one of these guys who just come out of there like nothing.
Was it Rubish who was saying that he paid his dues, putting his time? It took him a while.
And to
build.
He just keeps building. He said, "I'm the guy that's going to keep building my total." And
yeah, and he's like, "I'm fine if guys come out early start."
Because he was mentioning wheels. Wheels just come out of nowhere and wham, like you know.
Some guys take to it like fish, but that's okay. Some dudes don't, and it takes time. That's also okay. It's not where you start; it's where you end up.
Yeah. That's what he said. It's all about the total in the end. He goes, I keep chipping it, and each year, a little bit more, a little bit more.
That's right, yeah. And Rubish is already established, too.
Yeah.
If he retired today, he's laid his mark. Yeah, another interesting interview, man. Thanks for tuning in. As always.
Yeah.
Peace out.